If you told yourself today that you were going to do something for the next year, would you believe yourself? That is a question that I ask myself as well. Because I've started things, I've changed directions, I've had plans that didn't work, I've bounced back, but I'm realizing that becoming someone I can depend on isn't about having the perfect plan. It's about whether I trust myself to keep showing up enough to see my decisions can become something. You know that song, Friends? How many of us have them? Friends, ones we can depend on. What about ourselves? Can we be someone we can depend on? So, can I trust myself to stay within or even, let me look at myself. Can I trust myself to stay with something even when I'm not seeing the results? Even when I am not seeing the results, can I actually trust myself? That's a question for you. Because self-trust isn't something I wait to feel. It's something I'm building by keeping small promises to myself long enough for them to compound. Now, these are not the little pinky promise type deals. No, that is your word is your word. Whatever you tell yourself does matter. So keeping those small things to myself long enough for them to become compounded. So what do I really mean by compounding? Again, changing directions, starting something, stopping, you're giving up, you switch it. We call it pivoting, but then you may not ever come back. Do you really think it's going to come through? So just like those same habits can keep coming up, doing the same thing over and over again, that is compounding. It's creating a cycle of things, right? So the same too with yourself. I'm realizing every time I don't follow through on something I promise myself, I'm teaching myself something about whether my word can be trusted. Now, I'm just not sitting here saying, I promise, hi, Kini, I promise I'll do this. No, but that's just the word I'm using. But it's not like a pinky swear promise or whatever. But it's like when you tell yourself something, can you trust that you will follow through on it? Can you? So it's not like you're starting from ground zero. It's something that you learn to do over time. You start small and then keep going. So this is something I've discussed with my children about, when we think about, just for example, we think about compound interest. We learn in school, you think you might not need it. And it's the principle too. You do need to know more about that, but we're not going to get all into that. But teaching children that what you do matters and whether the consequences are good or bad, you'll see at the end how that pans out, how that lands for you. So when you're talking about compounding, it can be just spending 15 minutes learning a new language or spending 15 minutes doing writing prompts or 15 minutes of meditation or learning about starting a business or learning how to fix a gourmet meal. So over time, whether it's just 15 minutes, 5 minutes, we don't have to put a real weight on it. But over time, you can see that things will start developing over time, right? It's not something that happens overnight. So it's compounding. Whatever road you decide to take, the decisions you decide to make, you'll see whatever that road, whether it's a road less traveled or a road that seems to be common, depending what you do through that journey, has a great impact on that next chapter of your life, right? So when we think about trusting, self-trust, we're building that momentum. We're adding to that account of trust by the things that we say and follow through on, the things that we do and follow through on. We're building that. And little by little, you can start really believing that when I say this, this is what's going to be. It's not just going backwards and forwards. I keep quote my mom. She talks about we're not going to keep going backwards and forwards. We just had that conversation about people taking my stuff. But you see what I'm saying as far as compounding, seeing where this leads you, and start trusting that you're going to follow through this time. This time, it's going to be different because this time you're going to actually do the thing. You're going to actually do the work. If that makes sense. So again, this can be in business, money, around education, health, new skills, relationships, even overall confidence. But building it again, it becomes something completely different because we underestimate what small decisions can become when we give them enough time. So when you're here and kind of like the tortoise and the hare, the tortoise is just, it may seem like nothing is happening, but consistent effort, consistent practice becomes something great in the end, right? You will win if you do not quit. Just keep going. Keep going. We don't have to underestimate or despise the small beginnings, okay? And this is interesting because I use this example. Let me get my water. I use this great example with I say this is an experiment. It kind of is an experiment with this channel. So in real time, I am actually working on this YouTube channel and I'm showing up consistently before I have the audience that I'm working towards. I'm putting in the time before I have the results. Because if I believe these small actions will produce an outcome, I will keep going, right? I won't quit halfway. I won't quit because all the changes that are happening with YouTube, right? If I believe that what I said at the beginning, this is what I was going to do and keep going, then I will actually keep going no matter what, no matter all of the little obstacles, all the little humps, the new little things that pop up. And this is part of it. And this is just one example because this is something that's close to home. But there's a lot of different examples. As you are navigating this new phase of life, just the mere fact that you are getting a good night's sleep. I mean, you don't just say, okay, I'm going to do this one thing one night, and if I don't sleep well, I'm going to stop. It doesn't work. I'm going to say it doesn't work. No, if you really believe you can have a better night's sleep, what are you going to do? You're going to keep at it. Keep at that late night routine or that nightly routine where you continue to recycle it and see where it takes you. Because you have to remember where you are now, you didn't get there overnight. It took some time to get where you are. And a lot of times we want the easy route. We don't want to have that struggle or that resistance, right? We have to actually learn by these different changes that we're going through. So while I have you here, remember to subscribe to this YouTube channel at the Midlife Time Traveler. This is where we have real conversations over 40. We are reclaiming our time, our energy, our talents, learning how to rediscover or awaken really that side of you that you may have put to the side and said, I'll do it later. but making time once again to take care whatever you need to take care in this next chapter of your life. So I have something on my eye. I'm going to go ahead. I'm not going to take a break. I'm going to keep going because that's what we do. We're going to keep going. I have something. It might be like an eyelash or something like that. But anyway, let's keep going. So what if you only do have 15 minutes? So maybe someone's watching doesn't have, maybe you don't have an extra hour. It's okay. Maybe you only have 5 minutes. We want to shoot for 15, but maybe you only have 5 minutes. You still can start there. Start there. Maybe you only have 5 minutes to learn a language. You say, oh, that's not long enough. You can attempt, I'm pretty sure once you start, you'll probably bump it up a little bit more. But thinking about it, okay, taking a little walk, even if it's to the mailbox, instead of waiting for your child or your spouse to go. I'm guilty of that. Go to the mailbox, walk out to the mailbox, walk around the yard, learn that skill. If you got a few minutes, learn that skill. And this can be marketing. So you can watch a marketing video. Maybe you can find quick marketing tips or something like that and spend a few minutes watching a video while you're heating up your food. Or maybe organizing your finances. Maybe you've gotten behind and you need some extra, you need to spend some extra time on making sure everything is lined up. Or maybe building something else. It can be anything. Maybe if you like model cars, or maybe if you like tinkering with other things or drawing, you can spend time doing that. Get you a nice little cute journal and just have at it. But just making sure you build that. And so this is protecting your time every week. Every week you are protecting your time. So say if you decide to do that 15 minutes, that's an hour of your day, an hour a week total, an hour a week that you are dedicating to the mission. You're dedicated to learning how to trust yourself again by putting in the work. So then think about it. Where could you be in 5 years by just implementing this process? Where could you be in 10 years? What about 5? What about 15 years? What about 20 years? Can you imagine if you decided to do about 15 minutes working on something and you kept at it? All you need is 5 out of the 7 days a week. You have an hour for that week dedicated to that thing. Just starting with one thing, of course. But what if you did that one thing, even for a month? You know how farther along you would be looking at a month, setting that timer for a month? Let's go even further. 3 months, a year. Can you imagine how much skin you would have in the game? How much you would really just feel great and more alive and more confident in yourself and your decisions? That wouldn't only change that thing that you're learning, it would also change other things. It would just spew out in other areas of your life because you're building that momentum and you're building that confidence. Wouldn't that be awesome? I think so. So we can spend the next 10 years thinking it's too late, or we can arrive 10 years from now with 10 years of something we've been building. I think about that a lot. You remember the lessons you learned from way back when. You're not bringing that into today. You're not bringing the mistakes you made or the the U-turns you made. These are lessons. You're bringing in the lesson so you can learn how to trust yourself more, putting those boundaries in place because you know you, putting some boundaries in place so you can start trusting yourself again, little by little, okay? All right. Now we're thinking about that while I say that. What about that? What about the times that I've quit on myself? What about it? It's in the past now. It's true, you've let yourself down. It didn't work. Your plans changed. They were sour. They sucked, whatever words you want to use. But some things needed to end. Remember that too. Some things you needed to cut off completely. Getting back up requires more digging than usual, doesn't it? In midlife, it's a whole different ball game. Yes. Oh, I'm digging. I'm crawling out. So yesterday we talked about what we're leaving behind again and what we're carrying forward. That's what I was mentioning, putting that lesson behind, carrying forward. So focusing on what we're carrying forward consistency. We're carrying forward those things that's going to help us trust ourselves more. So if you haven't seen that episode, I highly recommend you go back and make sure you get that episode. Put it in a little playlist. Save it for later or put it in the playlist things I need to tune into today or whatever you want to do with that. So sometimes rebuilding self-trust requires pruning. It's that pruning process. And this is something that I'm remembering and I am realizing and remembering at the same time. You aren't obligated to continue something simply because you started it. Oh man, are you serious? Hey, do you know the amount of times I just kept going because I started it and I was like, I gotta finish this thing. Well, who told you to start it from the beginning? Maybe it was something that shouldn't have been started before. Maybe it was just kind of like a test to see, were you going to actually put yourself back there in a place that you said you were not going to put yourself back in. There's a difference between quitting because something got uncomfortable and intentionally changing direction because you've learned something. Yes. So maybe you didn't get the memo. So maybe you started that thing and then you were like, oh, I'm getting myself. I said I wasn't doing this again. Remember the lesson. You can stop right there. Learn that lesson. That nope, this is not but I spent this money. We've all paid our stupid tax. That's the person I followed some years ago when I was organizing my finances, and he called it stupid tax. The things that we did, we were like, oh my gosh, why did I do that? We all have done that several times, and we may continue to. But look at it as part of growth. Look at it. And if you have a business, you can write some of that off, maybe. Don't take my word for it. Always talk to a tax advisor, tax professional before taking any advice regarding taxes. All right? All right. So this is something that I've always stuck to. Who are you when no one's looking? Who am I? Where am I? Yeah, I have a lot of references from movies. I'm making sure my laptop is still plugged in because I have something else going on in the background. But who are you when no one's looking? Getting to integrity. That's needed. One of my friends, my late friend, She passed when we were actually in our early 20s. But I remember she always had these little words of wisdom, and she would just look at you and she'd smile and she would say whatever it is. And it's just like she peeled back the layers of like, how should you know this is what I'm like going through and all that? You know, we're all connected, spiritually connected, all the things. And so I remember one day we were going somewhere. I can't remember if it was going skating or going to eat somewhere. But I remember I got out my car and she smiled. And you know the little, what do you call the little thing when you park in the front? Not all of them have those, the little, so you won't run into something, those in the parking spaces. I remember stepping over it and she smiled. She was like, Hakini, integrity is needed. And I'm like, yeah. And it fit then. Can't remember exactly what was going on, but that's one thing that I've always, to me, it was like, I want to be someone that's trustworthy, even when no one's watching. Even when no one's watching. I'm watching. I want to be that person. And that falls in with self-trust too. Learning how to trust ourselves. Anybody can announce a goal. Anybody can post the plan. Anybody can tell people what they're going to do, right? But who am I when nobody is watching me? Do I keep the thing? Do I keep the little promise? Do I keep my word? Do I do what I said I was going to do? Do I respect my own boundaries? Do I work on the thing nobody is applauding yet? Look, did I tell y'all what I have? I have my own party right here. I got this. I have sunglasses here. Like and I don't need all of these. These are just little extra things I have at my desk, but you have to learn how to be your own party. Created the t-shirt and everything. Do you show up when the views are low? That one hits. It was like, I'm making all these videos. What are people at? Push this video out, YouTube. It hits home so much. Documenting this journey. 1 view, 2 view, 3 views, 4 views. Oh, we have somebody. I was like, who is that? I have no idea who that is. Someone is walking with a package. I'm like, I don't know that person. You saw I was watching like, who are you? But then I saw a package in their hand. Thank you. I am not waiting until thousands of people are watching before I commit to taking this serious. I'm practicing being the person who can handle when I'm trying to do the thing. This is where I am. This is where I am. This is where I am. I'll tell you, I have to sing to myself. This is good. So, self-trust isn't only, I'll make myself work harder. Okay? And you want to work harder. You want to do better, right? You want to do better by yourself. You want to see how far you can go in what you're doing. Not just barely throwing stuff out there, but how much more can you give, right? But sometimes I said I wasn't going to do that anymore. Or I said I was going to rest. Yeah, get some rest. I said I wasn't going to allow that, the boundary. I said this time belongs to me. And I said, I'm going to protect this hour. I'm protecting the hour, even though I got 10,000 alarms, which I thought I turned all of them off. But it's still, I'm in this seat. I'm giving myself this time. Respecting your time. Your time is valuable, even if you're just sitting on the couch. That's your time. You're trusting yourself to take that breather, take that rest, take that afternoon meditation if you need it. Take that 20-minute power nap if you need it. You are doing that thing. You're trusting yourself to follow through. Let your yes be yes and your no be no. Because when you push, do I want to say this? Okay, I'm going to go ahead. All right. So this is a good example. I'll tell you this. So just because you can do the things don't mean you have to do all the things, especially all at the same time. If you are a multi-dimensional person, you're used to doing a lot of different things, like I am. And I joke with my family, I think I've been here a few times. That's why I have all these different passions. It's giving me a sneak peek of what I used to do. And it doesn't mean I have to follow through with all of them. Just, so it's something that I was doing because I've been recovering from an injury I had and some things that I was doing. And so this part, I said, okay, it's going to sit here for now. It doesn't mean I might not ever do that thing, but as of right now, that is not my focus. And once you say that, once you tell yourself something, there is the test. Dun, dun, dun. So I got a message and someone was asking me to do something. Oh, I would love to do it. It's fun. I love fun. I always find the fun. I am the fun. It's just having fun. So, and I feel it right here. And it was just like a signal. Dun, dun, dun. You had to violation. And so I was like, how do I do this? Just no. I said no. I was shocked. I was like, no, I can't do that now. Because I thought at first I was going to be able to but this was like a month before. And then a lot can happen in a month. So the person came back and was like, thank you. But can I try to push a little bit if I can? At this time, I'm like, but thinking about it, don't we do that though? In so many words. Can you though? Oh, it won't hurt. The conversations we have with ourselves. Oh, it's for a good cause. All the things that we have reneged on it. You play cards and you renege, you owe 3 books. The same type thing. You've probably done it before. But guess what? This time, I drew the line. I said no. That's it. No. And not to say, you still have FOMO. You're like, oh, that looks so fun. Because you're used to being in all the things. You're used to doing all the things. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do all the things. You don't have to be in everything for it to feel like it's gonna be successful, or you don't have to be like, oh, like you're missing something. There's something great right here if you take notice, and you'll see it if you continue to follow through. So that's let your yes be yes, let your no be no. No violations. Just go with it. Okay? So, I got a question for you. What's one small promise you can make to yourself this week that you generally genuinely believe you can keep. One small thing that you can make to yourself, something you can tell yourself this week that you believe, genuinely believe that you can keep, okay? This is not an overhaul, just 15 minutes, okay? 15 minutes, one thing, one boundary, one action. That's it. That's it, just for this week. I want you to keep it, not because that one action is going to transform your entire life overnight, but because you're collecting evidence that when you tell yourself you're going to show up, you show up. You show up. You're building that evidence. So that's gold to me. And it's gold, right? When you have that evidence, that's the payoff right there. So tell me in the comments, what's one thing you're making yourself do this week, okay? And you don't have to tell me the whole story. I shouldn't say you're making yourself. What's one thing that you're going to decide to do this week? I want you to share it in the comments. Remember, you're building evidence. It doesn't have to be in the entire story. If you want to share your entire story, I will read it. But you don't have to do that. You can just name the thing, okay? I'm learning that becoming someone I can depend on isn't one giant decision. It's built through little decisions I keep making when no one is watching. Little decisions I keep making. Little decisions that you keep making, even though no one is watching. Remember to like this video and subscribe to the Midlife Time Traveler. Until next time, while you have the day, make the most of today. Bye for now.